Apple recently stunned the world with its latest AI announcement, calling it Apple Intelligence. With polished visuals, sleek branding, and Tim Cook's signature confidence, Apple pitched its AI as smarter, safer, and more private than anything out there. But behind the shiny keynote presentation and hyped-up marketing, a growing storm is brewing. Multiple lawsuits have been filed against Apple in 2025, with some alleging that Apple's claims are not just misleading, but downright deceptive. So, what's really going on with Apple Intelligence? Is it the next frontier in personal tech, or just a well-wrapped illusion? Let's dig in. What is Apple Intelligence? According to Apple, it's their brand new AI system that integrates deeply across iPhones, iPads, and Macs. It can summarize your emails, auto-write messages, generate images, help you plan your day, and even rewrite texts with different tones, all while protecting your privacy. It's supposed to be Apple's answer to ChatGPT, Gemini, and other AI platforms. But here's the catch. Apple isn't exactly building all this from scratch. Instead, it's heavily relying on OpenAI's ChatGPT and possibly other third-party models to power some of these features. When you ask Siri a complex question, it might not be Siri answering. It could be ChatGPT behind the curtain. Apple claims they're using something called a private cloud compute, where only necessary data gets sent to the cloud and is never stored, promising the best of both worlds, power and privacy. But some critics and lawyers say this setup isn't as transparent or safe as Apple makes it sound. The promise of Apple Intelligence was to seamlessly blend advanced AI capabilities directly into the user experience, making devices more intuitive and proactive. Imagine your iPhone intelligently prioritizing notifications based on your current context, or your Mac drafting a perfect professional email with just a few prompts, understanding your unique writing style. Apple's marketing painted a picture of an almost sentient digital assistant, deeply embedded in your personal ecosystem, always acting in your best interest and with unwavering respect for your privacy. This vision captivated many users, eager to experience a new level of personalized computing without the perceived trade-offs often associated with cloud-based AI. The concept of on-device intelligence, combined with secure cloud processing, was presented as a revolutionary leap, setting Apple apart from its competitors who often rely on more centralized, less private AI architectures. As of mid-2025, several legal challenges have been filed against Apple regarding its AI claims. The first major issue? Misleading advertising. Plaintiffs argue that Apple's branding of Apple Intelligence makes it seem like Apple built the tech entirely in-house, when in fact, it heavily relies on OpenAI's models. Critics are calling it deceptive co-branding, where Apple gets credit for a technology it didn't fully develop. The second lawsuit revolves around privacy. While Apple has long marketed itself as the privacy-first company, some cybersecurity researchers allege that the so-called private cloud compute isn't entirely secure or local. Data may still travel to external servers, possibly even OpenAI's, creating a potential risk of exposure, especially if there's ever a breach. There's also speculation that Apple may be collecting more metadata than users realize. When you activate AI features, where the queries go, how long they stay, and that brings up a lot of red flags. These lawsuits aren't just about financial damages. They represent a significant challenge to Apple's meticulously cultivated image. The core of the advertising claim is that Apple's intelligence is fundamentally Apple's, leading consumers to believe it's a proprietary, end-to-end solution. This perception, critics argue, leverages Apple's reputation for innovation and control over its ecosystem. Their use of ChatGPT raises the question: are users automatically opted into OpenAI usage? Will OpenAI have access to that data? And will it be used to train future models? Apple says no, but critics point to vague language in the privacy policy that leaves room for interpretation. Meanwhile, smaller developers are crying foul, saying Apple's system favors its own apps and services. Some developers claim that Apple Intelligence interferes with or replaces third-party tools that used to offer similar functions. And now those developers are being left out of the ecosystem they helped build. The lack of clarity extends beyond just the underlying AI models. Questions also arise about the exact processing locations for different types of AI tasks. Is every Apple Intelligence function truly processed on-device, or are some routed through third-party cloud servers without explicit user notification? This ambiguity creates a transparency gap that undermines user confidence. The bigger picture: Apple's AI race. All of this is happening while Apple is racing to catch up in the AI arms race. Apple, which once mocked AI features from other companies, is now packaging those same features, just with better fonts and animations. For years, people trusted Apple because of its strong stance on privacy. Now, that trust is being tested. If Apple Intelligence isn't truly Apple's, and if privacy isn't as airtight as they claim, you deserve to know. Not only that, but the lawsuits could shape how Apple and other tech companies have to disclose their AI partnerships and how your data is handled. It also raises an important question. Do we, as users, care more about convenience or control? Are we okay with faster, smarter features, even if it means some of our data goes to third parties? Or do we demand transparency and sovereignty over our own information? So, is Apple Intelligence a lie? Maybe not in the literal sense, but the name certainly stretches the truth. With third-party models powering key features, unclear data practices, and lawsuits piling up, it's fair to say that Apple's version of AI might not be what it seems. As users, we need to stay informed, ask hard questions, and hold companies accountable, no matter how shiny their presentations are. Apple may have branded this era as the age of Apple Intelligence, but in 2025, intelligence starts with awareness. Yours. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or eye-opening, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And drop your thoughts in the comments. Is Apple pushing innovation or pushing the limits of trust?